Why don't you come by? Why don't you come by? Hey. Make sure your microphone's off because we're probably going live any second. You're lucky that's it. The only thing we're going to put on there is there's a word secondary to primary.
Just make a change or whatever, because that's what's in the mayor's policy.
Secondary to primary. That's all.
Make that
I
change.
got it. I got it.
Make it online, so I know what it is.
Are you going to read it?
No, they were talking about it. They weren't that clear. They were just telling us what they're doing. So I tell you, it was good to have my daughter home.
Great.
It's good to have my family together. No, she came home on Thursday. She was down at the house Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The kids just they just love her to death. You know what? Ashley Holmes, they just adore her. It makes me complete. They go, Dad, aren't you on a meeting here? No.
That's our job.
Well, yeah, you know, Allison's taking us out to dinner. We'll call you. All right.
Is that the key to one? Good opportunity for kids like to and then we're going to go out July 4th to California. I've never been there. What part of California?
Colorado.
Wow, Stanford.
Yeah.
Good for you.
She's doing a neuroscience program. Yeah.
Let me tell you what my daughter was like. I would cry.
Right, I have that bread table with all these.
No, I think that's wonderful. Don't get me wrong.
I've never been to California, so.
Never? Which bar is out there? Not in Anaheim, because if it falls off, Anaheim will be ocean. No, they're in Westwood. Oh, UCLA's in Westwood. They're making a love fest together right now. Sorry, he's on a roll. You want me to go get him? For the chief, maybe the chief. You're talking to Mr. Rooney. You're talking to Mr. Rooney.
I know. I remember we went to this hotel called W, and this is like, you know,
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order with a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Terry, notice of publication, please.
Yes, Mayor, take notice that this regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on the 25th day of March 2019 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Well, that's good. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Here.
Delina.
Here.
Enriquez.
Here.
Kilpatrick. McGill.
Here.
Novak.
Approval of the prior minutes of the mayor and council. Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes be approved, subject to correction. The March 11, 2019 special meeting, the March 11, 2019 regular meeting and executive session, and the March 11, 2019 agenda session.
Second.
Okay. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have a special presentation tonight. You are the young man? You are the young, and your name, young man? Now remember, smile for your mother's picture. All right. So, young man, if you'd come forward with whoever you choose to bring forward. If you could hand Kevin a microphone. And who else gets a mic? Give the young fellow a mic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. This is Kevin Polston, Project Executive with Riverton. Happy to be here tonight to honor a young star in the arts field coming out of Sayreville War Memorial High School. Last year, we were approached on behalf of Council for the Riverton PR team to help find a creative way to commemorate the 2019 centennial of the borough's founding. And our PR people got together and came up with this idea of engaging through Sayreville War Memorial High School to identify a contest recipient to help create the new brand. And Andrew Rice and Mary Charmello took the ball and ran with it. If you want to talk a little bit about the process there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Charmello. I'm a teacher at the high school with Andrew Rice. We teach most of the art students. We kind of put it out there as a contest for all the art classes. We narrowed it down to about 15 students. And then we chose a pool of 6. After those 6 were chosen, we kind of worked with them individually to define their logos and come up with multiple concepts for them to choose from. So they really got an idea as to how a graphics person would work in the true field. Patrick came up with some fantastic designs, and he's going to go over them with you in a few minutes. And then they refinished his design just by tweaking it a little bit, and it's all his.
Yep, so, should I use?
He has a mic.
So I was really excited to do this.
The boys got it.
I was really excited to do this contest because it was really different from anything I've ever done before. If you look at the About Me page, the photos that I have there are mostly just like portraits, and it was really different from like creating a logo. So I thought it was a really exciting experience to finally be able to do something like different art-wise. So as I was making the logo, my first step was obviously sketching it, and my initial focus with the designs was keeping it very simple and modern, which is reflected through the setting, the composition, and the colors that I chose. The setting in the top logo was more of a historical take on Sayreville, which shows the Sayre and Brick Company factory in the background, but it makes it more modern with the more geometrical shapes. However, with the bottom one, it reflects more of the natural beauty of Sayreville. As for the composition, like the circular shape of the logos keeps all the elements contained and gives it a more modern look. And that's true with the colors also, which are more earthy, which also reflect the natural beauty of Sayreville. And
That's
then
you.
with the final design, the digital design, the things that were changed were removing the industrial buildings in the background, because I felt that having those didn't create like a very, I guess, forward-thinking.
Can I interrupt you a minute, Patrick?
Go ahead.
Mom, why don't you come up here? You're gonna get a better picture. Come on up, Mom. Come on. Come on. We're all neighbors. Come up here on the dais. You'll get a better picture of your son. Come on. Plus, he's on TV. Come on up. Come on up. All right, get focused. Okay, go ahead, Patrick.
All right, yeah, so with the final logo, we decided to I decided to change the factory to more residential and like commercial buildings. And I kind of took inspiration from like South Amboy and all the buildings down there. But in the end, the bottom logo, we felt that it was the most balanced because it reflected both the natural beauty and the more modern setting of Sayreville. So yeah, thank you, everyone.
Patrick, you have an eye for beauty, and you certainly have a love of your town.
Thank you.
And we're very impressed with you. We're very proud of you. So we're gonna, now remember, the television camera's behind you, so when you bring the logo up, you wanna show it to us, because we're in charge. And then you wanna show it to everybody. And then if you have a good picture of it, we'll put it on the website.
Awesome. Thank
All right, you pick the picture out,
you. All right.
all right?
I'll be sure to. Gotta unzip me.
All right, show it to me. All right. Can we keep this here, or is that for the school?
No, you can keep it here.
We can keep it here? All right, wait a minute. We all
Should be easily.
got something. I'm not putting it on because I look like Britney Spears. Come on, folks. Come on, comrades.
You guys come around there, I'll take a picture of you.
Yeah. Jonathan, how are you gonna do this picture?
No?
Patrick, come here.
Daniel.
You guys can come around over right in front of it. Yeah, where's on deck?
Mr. and Mrs. Passon?
Come on.
What is it? Oh,
Is this blocking the shot?
really? Probably menthol in it. I'm good.
We're getting mom up there too, John.
Suck on it.
Where's mom? Oh, Dad's got the
And on behalf of Riverton, we're very pleased to present Patrick with a $1,000 scholarship check to support his college next year.
And Dad, you told him to learn a trade. Here, man, Terry, where are we gonna put?
Night.
Terry. Terry. Thank you very much.
It's very cool. I think we have this tremendously talented young people.
I think that will fit.
Mayor, just hold that.
Thank you.
see it? Patrick, your mother and father taking you out to dinner?
They got me a hot dog.
Hey, you now have $1,000, take them out to dinner. But this is a good time for a young man in high school to get out of this meeting and go live life to its fullest. You make us all proud, and I'm very happy to have met you tonight. Thank you. Mom and Dad, great job. Okay. With that, old business, Terry.
Yes, Mayor, under old business, we have the public hearing on the following ordinances. Ordinance number 443-19, an ordinance to supplement and amend Chapter 6, Section 6-4.1, alcoholic beverage control fees, and Chapter 2, Section 2.64, administration fees of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville.
Okay, with that, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comment. Karen, this is your time. So you need to come up, state your name and the street you live on, or the store that you want to talk about.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Karen Bailey. I am from Buddy's Tavern in Portland, in Saraville. And we have recently received a letter regarding the proposed increase in liquor license fees. With me, I have some fellow licensees. I've contacted many more, but unfortunately with the short notice, many were not able to come and attend. But they all have expressed their discontent regarding this raise in license fees. We were curious as a whole, what are the fees based on? What is the increase needed for? And what what makes the fee? What justifies the increase, I guess would be our question.
Revenue.
Go ahead.
I believe we have not had an increase in our fees since 2014. We were going over our fee schedule, comparing also with other towns, and because we weren't increasing it since 2014, it was decided that to raise it $250.
Okay, I see you have prepared something. I had spoken to Terry this morning regarding the last, I wanted the 20-year historically, what the fees were. I didn't feel like going through the check stubs, so it was easier to do that. She gave me the last 10 years. I have created a little chart here. I'll give you guys a copy, which I need to pass them down. Thank you. All right, we've had multiple increases. I'll give you guys a chance to pass that through and. All right, we've had multiple increases since 2010. In 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, effectively up through 2020, if that proposed increase were to take effect, that license fee has increased 160%. We were also curious to see what other licensing fees have gotten so dramatically and drastically. The alcohol business is not easy. We have many regulations, many fees to pay. We're also relying more on food, most of us, than alcohol because there's so much competition with, I guess, the mind-altering things, you might say, that, and obviously the vigilance with the, people are not drinking as much. They are become more aware, thank God, of their responsibility, and our sales in alcohol have gone down. Most of us have adapted to food and alcohol. We've had a number of things that we're up against, and just don't think it's fair that we have to suffer such a dramatic increase, again, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 times in a course of 10 years. So I don't know if anyone would like to add anything that has come with us based, on what they feel.
I understand it hasn't increased, it's increased every year from 2011. But we haven't had any increases since 2014. So we were looking at those numbers, and if you went from 2014 through 2019, it's not 134%. I understand over the 10-year period, your numbers are probably correct, but
Can you tell me is this just arbitrary? Well, we haven't increased it, so I think we need to increase it. Have construction
well,
permit fees increased that many times? Have
yes,
food licenses and
Yes.
the such?
everything has increased. We went through a lot of the fees in the past 2 years. Water fees have increased, the sewer fees has increased, property taxes have increased, and this was one of the ones that were not increased.
Well, I mean, has increased considerably, and if you look at the rate where it stands now at $2,000, and you look at like South Amboy, and you look at South River, they're below us, we're still above them, and they even have separate lower fees for people who are only distributing it and not consuming it. And then if you want to get into, there's businesses all around town that allow alcohol consumption that pay no fees. They're called BYOB, okay? And again, we seem to take the brunt of the alcohol licensing fees and the things that go along, the responsibilities that go along with that. So I was hoping you guys would reconsider this and give us a break for a couple of years, since we're right up to where the neighboring towns are. Actually, we're way above that. South Amboy is $1,289 and change. South River, $860. Effectively from now to 2020, you will be increasing it just by 25% alone. And that's if you have a pocket license or an active license, either or. So we were hoping you guys would reconsider your choice.
Council?
What is the pleasure of the governing body? Any comments?
I'm just looking at these numbers now, the ones that we just got on our desks, and I do see there are a lot of towns that do it differently, and I understand the retail versus the consumption versus the club, and I see that other towns as well have various fees for those, the differences. Do we know why we don't have those, why it's all blanketed for us? Why the fees are blanketed? So it's 2,000 for consumption, 2,000 for retail? I know that's ordinance, but what was the mindset? Does anybody know?
That there wasn't a distinguishment between
Right.
between distributor or consumption on. And then the club licenses, those percentages, between now and 2020, effectively, that's a 34.28% increase on those guys. Seems, you're talking 140 to 188. Where here you're talking in the thousands, but I don't want to be discriminatory, and I want to, I was thinking of everyone, every situation, so. And this was even brought more to my attention with the other town. I got short notice. I didn't go to the burnt out mailbox, and they have been delivering it to my home, and I just pulled this out. Once in a while, I check that mailbox, and I happened to see the letter, and I'm glad I didn't miss it, and I had a little bit of time to round up, as many people as we could. And again, the ones that weren't here were not very happy with this either. So, just seeing this with the breakdown between the two different types, it just seems like we're really being overburdened unnecessarily. What are the increase for? What do the funds go for? We've cut back an hour in our times for, probably almost the last decade now. There's less policing in general, that whole hour got knocked off. Is there any way you guys would reconsider? Yes.
This is a public
Absolutely,
section,
yes.
so we can. You have to,
No, you need to state who you are and your
Larry-
business.
Larry Patel, 68 Deerfield Road, where I live, Briarton Liquors.
Raritan Liquors?
Briarton Liquors, yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at 2010, back then, there weren't that many big liquor stores that we're fighting against, or bigger bars. Everything just got bigger. All ours, we're small businesses. Our profit margin back then was 38, 34%. Right now, we're working with a profit margin of almost 21% to 21.5%. We're losing 10%. They're also increasing their insurance. They're increasing, everything's just getting more expensive. As well as like, we're trying to make money for the city. We're trying to make money for Saraville. We're trying to pull, we're trying to pull customers away from other towns to come to Saraville to buy from us, where we get tax money and you guys benefit from it too, as well. You know what I mean? So, that's a good point too.
Yes, it
Profit
is,
margin
yes.
very less.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments from the governing body? Mary Ann, did you want to speak at all? Yeah, come on up.
I'm Ken Cassidy from the Tap and Growler, 363 Main Street. I just also want to, I know the bars do get a bad rep, which we try to stop. We also do raise a lot of money for the town. In recent years, I can only speak for the Tap and Growler. We've raised money for soldiers, Boston. We've raised money for BIC and the fire department in town. We try to do help everybody also. So I hope you take that in consideration also. Thank you.
Ken, your place has a good reputation.
Oh, thank you very much.
Exactly. A year ago, I stood here before you guys with the Harvey benefit. And, you know, we tried to do is, when we were in operation, and thank you, I'm Mary, I didn't say who you before. You know what, we've always tried to, and I know a lot of establishments do, try to do good things, benefits, and, you know, again, for the common good of our fellow citizens in this community and further. So again, you know, with that in mind, it may seem like a small increase, but with our profit margins going down, it hits us, it really does.
Karen, what I can recommend to my colleagues is that we take a look at our costs, our police costs, our whole cost of administrating the liquor licenses. This came up when we rolled back the closing hours from 3 to 2, and a number of the particularly the club owners objected to it quite vigorously. And I said, the borough's not your partner. Do you understand? If you want me to participate in when times are hard, then we have to do a scale so that when you start making money, the borough gets a percentage of it. We're a government. We're not really set up for that. So when people say, you know, I need a break for a couple of years, what they're saying is, I need you to be my partner, but only my partner when times are tough. When times are good, I want it all for myself. It's not a good equation. But on the other hand, we recognize the integral part of our community that you are. We're not looking to incur any hardship. We're just not looking for any other part, any other resident or entity in the borough to unfairly subsidize another entity in the borough. So if it's okay with my colleagues, we can have our CFO and our chief of police and our DPW take a look at all the ancillary costs that go into providing for a restaurant, a bar situation in town. And you know, it's an open and transparent process, and you can take a look at it.
Mayor, I don't know about my colleagues.
I can't hear you, Mayor.
I'm sorry. I don't know about my colleagues. I'm pretty sure we probably all feel the same way, but if we were to table this and perhaps look at reducing it somewhat, I know we have to raise the fees, everything's going up.
Right.
I'm willing to just look at it and see maybe it could be a little less, but to review
Have a
it.
glass of water, Mary.
Mary, take a drink.
What's going on? That'll teach me to talk.
Hang in there, girl. Hang in there.
In other words,
Right,
move it.
right. We're not looking to put anybody out of business, but in the same token, we have to be fair to everyone. So, as you know, most of the borough budget is labor, and all of labor in the budget is contractual. So every year, we abide by our agreements and our contracts, and the cost of labor goes up. So
And for us too.
No,
And if the minimum
yeah, but-
wage goes up, we're all gonna be subject to
Karen,
that.
we
Yeah,
answer to
so-
the taxpayer, and you're all taxpayers, I understand that. But we just need to look at it so that there's the proper balance, so that you're basically covering to the degree that we find is fair, you're covering what it costs the borough to help in the operation of your business. And whether it's a bar business, or it's a hardware store, or whatever operation it is, a doctor's office, there is a cost to the borough, and we need to recoup that.
Exactly. You know, speaking of balance, maybe you guys could look into the situation where a distributor does not, a package store doesn't have the kind of, people are generally probably going to get their packaged goods, take them home. The person that might sit at a bar might sit there and consume, and then have to get on the road, which may have more police costs allocated to it. So again, something like this, you know, isn't for balance itself, may need to be, should possibly be
It'll be
considered by you smart
Karen,
people, really, you know?
It'll be transparent, but if you're running a business that isn't making it and you need the other people in Sayreville to subsidize it, I don't know how that, and I'm not saying that you are, but what I'm saying is, it's either the wrong business or wrong
Well, somehow,
location.
it's more a matter of fairness, I think, because just basically looking at the numbers that I have computed, 160% increase really in 10 years in a fee, I think is high. I don't know if you can find any comparability to any other kind of fee that has raised that much.
Well, we're just doing a quick,
It's 2.5 times, it was 10 years ago.
Karen, everything's going up and it compounds as it goes up. So we empathize with you, and what we try to do is strike a fair and even balance with everyone.
Well, look at your neighboring towns, they're way under what we're even looking at here.
I have to look at Sayreville.
As our number of active licenses have dropped as well. I mean, we used to be 50-some strong in this town. I didn't come into this business 5 years ago. All my life, 54
Karen,
years, yeah.
Karen.
So.
I can't subsidize a business. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand, but I think we as intelligent people could maybe consider a little bit of fairness.
No,
as
no,
far
but
as
remember
the-
what fairness sometimes mean, I only want you to be my partner when times are not good. I don't want you to be my partner when times are good. So, Terry, how
don't
many
think
liquor
any-
licenses do we have?
I don't think anybody was here over these years with all these
Okay.
increases, and we did just.
No,
accept
Karen, I'm
that.
not looking, listen, we're friends for 20 years, all right? So, but
about
I need you to understand what we have to consider up here, all right? I'm a patron of practically all the establishments sitting
Right.
here, all right? But there are 54 licenses. 50 of them didn't come tonight.
How many are actually active? How many of those
I have
are
no,
pocketed
Karen,
licenses?
Karen, whether they're active or they're not active, they're paying the fee.
They're still paying, right.
Right.
With the
So-
short notice, I apologize, I should have, when John asked
No,
me
no.
to get the tavern owners together, I
Yeah,
had a crowd,
listen.
but I had plenty of notice.
Karen, you're all
You know.
business people. Let's do it in a very transparent dialogue.
So then we would
Okay.
table this and give.
We're
us
gonna
the
table it.
opportunity
If
to
everybody's
reach out to the
okay.
rest of the
Mayor, I move
tavern
that we
owners.
table the ordinance.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. It's tabled.
Thank you very much, Mayor
All
and
right.
Council. I appreciate
Now,
it.
we're gonna we'll let you know, and when we're gonna gather the information.
Please.
All right, and then however you guys wanna do it, you wanna come, all of you, or you wanna send representatives? All right, and we'll go over it. I'm not promising the outcome.
That would be great. Well, if we have the opportunity, that would seem to maybe,
That's a fair thing.
yeah, knowledge is power and we need to be informed, and they do too, and I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to get everybody
Okay,
together.
no, I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. All right,
We'll
so,
be in touch.
all right, so we're making progress. Thanks, Karen.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out. Okay, Terry, next order of business?
Public hearing on ordinance number 444-19, an ordinance of the, to supplement and amend Chapter 12 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to amend Section 12-1.3 G7 solar panels and et cetera of the State Uniform Construction Code.
Okay, at this time, I'm gonna open the public portion for questions or comments. Are there questions or comments? There being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Delina.
Mayor, I make a motion that we close the public hearing, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading as advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Delina?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
McGill?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 445-19, an ordinance supplementing and amending Chapter 13 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to amend Section 13-4.3, receptacle for municipal solid waste and recycling, and Chapter 2-64.23, miscellaneous fees.
This time, I'm gonna open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the public portion be closed, the ordinance adopted in second final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez? McGill?
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 446-19, bond ordinance amending and supplementing bond ordinance number 246-14, heretofore 264, did I say it incorrectly? 264-14, heretofore finally adopted on June 23, 2014, entitled Bond Ordinance Providing for the Acquisition of Vehicles and Equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Saraville, New Jersey, appropriating $1,680,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,600,000 bonds and notes of the borough for financing part of such appropriation, to amend the description thereof.
This time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments. Are there questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman McGill.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Roll call?
Councilpersons McGill?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
Novak?
That's it?
Under new business, Mayor, I'd like to report having received the supplemental debt dated March 25th, 2019 from our CFO. Need a motion to receive and file?
Moved.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
McGill?
Yes.
Novak? Introduction of the following ordinance, bond ordinance number 447-19, bond ordinance amending and supplementing bond ordinance number 423-18, heretofore finally adopted on July 23, 2018, entitled Bond Ordinance Providing for Hercules Village Water Improvements in the Borough of Saraville, New Jersey, appropriating $675,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $675,000 bonds and notes of the borough for financing part of such appropriation, to increase the appropriation therein by $110,000, and to increase the authorization of bonds or notes therein by $110,000 to finance that additional cost thereof.
At this time, I'll open the public portion for Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman McGill, first reading.
Thank you again, Mayor. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on April 8th, 2019.
Roll call. Oh, no, roll call.
Councilpersons McGill?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
Novak?
At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on all the consent agenda items. Other questions or comments? Being no Oh, come on up, Steve.
Steve Mel. Steve Mel.
Good, we hear you.
There we go. Steve Melineski, 28 Scarlet Drive in Portland. My question is basically on the 2019 budget. And my question is, what's the year-on-year, run rate up or down over 2018?
CFO?
The run rate, in other words, is the budget for 2019, how much is up against revenues?
Well, it's up 3.6%,
Are you talking about the spending side or the revenue side?
Well, it's both, because if we have a budget for X, what's the income
What's the
against it?
offset?
So that either puts us into deficit or surplus. And I'm just asking.
Can I send you an email tomorrow?
Sure.
I have all the documents down in my office.
Sure, thank you, Denise. Thank you.
That's it, Steve. Are there any other questions? Being no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the public portion be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
McGill?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Okay.
Mayor, have the following resolutions to be read in full. Resolution number 2019-99, resolution accepting and adopting the Central Jersey Municipal Joint Insurance Fund 2019 Safety Incentive Program. Whereas the Borough of Sayreville is a member of the Central Jersey Municipal Insurance Fund, and whereas it is the policy of the Central Jersey JIF to achieve the best and most practical degree of freedom from accidents and/or injuries, and whereas Central Jersey JIF endeavors to ensure that all of its members, employees, volunteers, and public are provided with a safe and healthy environment free from any hazards, and whereas the Central Jersey JIF endeavors to ensure that all of its members are in compliance with the applicable safety and health requirements. And whereas the Central Jersey JIF Safety Committee is made up of representatives of the fund's municipalities along with professionals employed by the fund. And whereas a new program will assist the Central Jersey JIF members in becoming or maintaining compliance with all public employees, occupational health and health requirements, and whereas the Central Jersey JIF has adopted its new 2019 Safety Incentive Program, which should succeed in providing a safe, healthy, and pleasant environment. Now therefore be it is hereby resolved by the Borough Council, Borough of Sayreville, that the Central Jersey Municipal Joint Insurance and Safety Incentive Program be adopted by the Borough of Sayreville.
Is there a motion?
Open to the public.
I'm sorry. Are there any questions or comments on this? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the public portion be closed and the resolution be approved on roll call vote.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
McGill?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Are we doing them?
Resolution number 2019-100, whereas NJSA 40A
Okay.
40A:4-8 provides that the budget as advertised shall be read in full at a public hearing, or so that it may be read by its title only if, one, at least 1 week prior to the date of the public hearing, a complete copy of the approved budget as advertised, A, shall be posted in a public place where public notices are customarily posted in the principal public building, and B, copies are made available to each person requesting same during said week during and before the public hearing. Now therefore be it is hereby resolved by the Borough Council, Borough of Sayreville, that is hereby declared that conditions of NJSA 48:4-8(1)A and B have been met, and therefore the budget for 2019 shall be read by title only. Open to the public.
This time I'm going to open questions on the 2019 budget to the public. Are there any questions?
This is on resolution number 2019-100.
Yeah. Are there any questions? Being no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the public portion be closed and the consent agenda resolution 100 be approved on roll call vote.
Second.
Councilperson
Roll.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
McGill?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Resolution number 2019-101, this is the introduction of the 2019 municipal budget. Municipal budget of the Borough of Sayreville County of Middlesex for the fiscal year 2019. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the fiscal year 2019. Be it resolved that the said budget shall be published in the Home News Tribune in its issue of March 29th, 2019. The governing body of the Borough of Sayreville does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2019. And we'll take the record of votes and we take the roll call. Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution is hereby approved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex on March 25th, 2019. A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held in the Municipal Building, 167 Main Street, Sayreville, on April the 22nd. Is that correct? 2019 at 7:00 p.m., at which time and place objections to the budget and tax resolution for the year 2019 may be presented to the taxpayers or other interested persons. Motion to open to the public.
This I'll open
The meeting to the public.
the reading of the budget for questions or comments. Are there any questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the public portion be closed and the resolution be approved.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
Gill?
Yes.
Novak? Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Dan, Council President?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. We all received in our packet this weekend the RFP for services for EMS services. Everyone can just pull that out. I don't know if everyone had an opportunity to go over it. What we've done, Dan and I have done, Dan came up with this proposal, and I think he did a great job on it. We met with the EMS and went over some tweaking of it, and I think we're at the point now where we're ready to send it out. I spoke with the mayor and I spoke to the chief of police as well. There's 2 changes that we'd like to make in it before we send it out. The first being I'm trying to find the page at the same time I'm speaking. On page 8, the successful vendor will be the EMS secondary BLS service. That was going to be the primary from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., not secondary. And then the rest of that was fine on there. And the second one was a tweak regarding bariatric patients. And I'm going to ask that Dan sit down with, or just get some more information on that from the chief and presidents of the police, because it's not referred to in here, and it's something that needs to be addressed. There was an issue over the weekend regarding a bariatric patient. So if we can get that addressed in here as well, and then I would like to move forward with this proposal. Anyone has objections?
Is there a motion?
So, second?
All, roll call?
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
McGill?
Yes.
Novak?
Okay, CFO's report?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Engineers report? Attorneys report?
No report, Mayor.
Okay, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on any and all issues. Don?
First of all, my name is Don Riley. I'm the president of Morgan First Aid Squad. Up until last year, I can't say I was a borough resident, but I do now own property in Sayreville at 29 Schmidt Street. I have some issues with the fact that we're putting out a proposal to bring up EMS and straighten out EMS. But before we put this proposal out, and I've been asking for over 7 years for the proper protocols of what the EMS dispatch should even be in Sayreville. And the business administrator provided me with something about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and that was from 2009. We're following procedures, and we're putting out a proposal to tell our private contractor to help back us up or help do whatever the primary is going to be. And till this day, I still do not have what the proper dispatch protocol is for the Borough of Sayreville, for the Morgan First Aid Squad, for the Sayreville First Aid Squad, for the MICUs, or for whatever emergency vehicles are going to be used, or what's going to happen in the Borough of Sayreville. I think that this policy should be tabled until we get that protocol and put the protocol out. Because how can you tell somebody they got to come and bid on something when they don't even know what the protocol is going to be? Our dispatchers have 9 different dispatch protocols right now. You can get an ambulance for Morgan or an ambulance from JFK or Hackensack or wherever you want to get it from. If you don't have the proper protocol, which I've been asking for over and over and over, which I got from the business administrator, which is from 2009, still has Rural Metro, who has been down in New Jersey for how many years? And I've asked numerous times for this. The police chief says there's one, the business administrator says one, the council president says there's one. However, again, I still do not have a protocol for what the volunteers are responsible for. Is it 5 minutes? Is it 7 minutes? But yet in your proposal that you're putting to the people that we have to bid out, you're telling them that you want a 5-minute response or 7 minutes. How can we tell them that if we don't know what the protocol is today? I feel that part needs to be solved before the borough of Saraville goes out and puts anything out for bid, because you're going to have to live by it, and we have to live by it, and you want us to live by it, and we have no problem living by it. I've met with Dan Buchanan, I've met with Dan Franklin, I've met with other people. We've straightened out the procedures. We're not against the procedures. However, we don't know what the procedures are. Right now, I have 2 ambulances on the road. I know that. And we know we went with this I am responding situation and everything else. Our dispatchers don't use it because they don't count on us to use it because we don't know what we're doing with it. We're supposed to get extra training on it. We're supposed to get things on it. But until we get protocols and what our responses are, and I don't think it should go out for bid. Because how are we going to bid something that they don't know what they're looking to bid? I've been in the medical supplies business for over 38 years, and I can't bid on something if I don't know what I'm bidding on. And the protocols are probably the most important thing because we need to know, is it a life-threatening call? Is it a bariatric call? What the call is? And our police department needs to dispatch it properly. We need to respond to it properly, and you as the mayor and council need to be able to say to the people, hey, we need the borough of Saraville residents to have 5 minutes response time, 7 minutes response time. Is there a second? What is the protocol? There is no protocol. You can ask anyone in the 9 dispatchers, and you'll get 9 different answers. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes, we had the 2009 mayor. It was provided, not by me. And we're trying to go over that with the chief and with the EMS. I've asked.
How long does it take to update that protocol?
Well, I don't necessarily think it needs to be updated at this point until you move forward with the RFP to contract with another service. Then we can sit down and we can revise it, because at that point we might need to revise it. But the protocol that we currently have it's been in place since I've been chief, and well over several years past that with the former chiefs as well. It's very clear how it's been utilized, and quite frankly, I'm not sure what the issue is. I certainly appreciate what Don said today, but I'm quite, I'm a little bit disillusioned by the fact that that the complaint came forward with a public meeting, since we've been utilizing the same protocol for countless years now.
Okay. There are issues with the protocol, and Chief, not to disagree with you, but they have companies that aren't even in existence anymore in the protocols. The bigger issue that we all have here is the communication between one group from another group to another group. And my goal is to make sure that our protocols are made aware to everybody, and that they're posted and people understand the protocols and there's no questions about them. I have reached out and contacted both Dexter and Don. They're working on updating those protocols. I don't think it should be that long. I don't think we need that much time to update the protocols. We've agreed to push this through, but to adopt this RFP, we could add the protocols to that before it's actually sent out as an addendum to this RFP. But the first hurdle was the RFP. We now have another hurdle with the protocols, and then the third hurdle is going to be making sure everyone is utilizing the protocols, that no one has a question of the protocols. And it's all about communicating between each one, and that's what I've been saying to everybody that I've met with. So I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what the rest of the council feels, but I believe that they do need to be updated, and everyone's made aware of them. So I don't know what the process would be on this, Mike. Just adding an addendum to the RFP before it's sent out.
Yeah, you can add it to the RFP. I mean, I think it's a good point because there is going to be some requirements that have to be met, and the requirements are the protocol. So before the RFP is sent out, I know that Dan has to make a couple of revisions to it, or the borough administrator, and then also add the protocols, attach it to as an exhibit.
Okay, so if Dan can just schedule a meeting with everybody and we can work on that to get that out, to get the protocols together. I would like
to meet with the first aid squads and the chief.
Correct.
Well, I think the way this is worded, Council President, is within the RFP is the statement that a new protocol will be decided upon by the 2 volunteer squads and the successful respondent on the RFP.
I just don't think that it's going to take that long to do the protocol, so I think we can include it in the actual RFP statement on the back. But at this point, we need to get the meeting and the ball rolling a little bit faster. Okay?
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Come on up.
Good evening, Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place, Park Lane. It's just my usual twice-a-month question about Washington Road in North Ernston. How we doing?
I'm gonna let the chief take this one because the chief gave us a report. So,
Forward a report from Sergeant.
let the chief come up, let the chief.
Chief, can I ask you to go on the mic, please?
Thank you.
That's okay. It should be in your packet, a recommendation or actually a review by Sergeant Braille after taking a look at the crosswalk at Ernston, North Ernston and Washington Road. He did make several recommendations, which I would ask you to take a look at. Among them was additional signage as well that would be off-road as well as on-road. Plus, there is some request for what would be an electrical signage as well to bring more notice to the traveling public that there is a crosswalk there, particularly when there is a pedestrian that would be crossing over. I think that given the fact that it is a very wide road, heavily traveled with certain traffic in particular during commuting times as well as when school is out, those recommendations should be well thought of and perhaps moving forward to get those done as spring is moving forward. Some will easily, others will have to be looked at for possible purchases in the future.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or comments? Dexter?
Dexter Thomas, Cerebral, New Jersey, 151 Main Street, President of Cerebral Emergency Squad.
Can you speak up, Dexter?
President of Cerebral Emergency Squad. I just wanted to let you know that I do back up what Don has to say, and I think that, we should give us that opportunity before you just send something out. So I just want to let you know on record that I do back Don up.
Thank you, Dexter.
Can I just ask a question? That day that we had that meeting, didn't Morgan and Sayreville actually have 2 different sets of protocols? Yeah, okay. That's what I sort of remember.
Yeah, police chief at his own.
Yeah.
He did provide us one, so I'm very happy that we got that through Dan Franklin, but that was the third one.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments during the open public portion? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Will the public portion be closed?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm going to move to adjournment, 5-minute break, and then we'll go into the agenda
So
meeting.
moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. 5-minute break, everyone.
Get you there.
All of them?
everyone please stand for a salute to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Terry, statement of publication?
Yes, Mayor, take notice that this agenda session meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 25th day of March 2019 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan,
Here.
Delina,
Here.
Enriquez,
Here.
Kilpatrick, Novak, McGill. Thank you.
Okay. If you have any questions on 447-19, call out. Otherwise, we'll go to committee reports. Councilman McGill, Administration of Finance.
Communication, Finance Committee reports, Administration, Finance, minutes, and Department reports. With the following minutes and reports be received and filed, number one, the first monthly report for the month of February 2019. Number two, City Falls Investment Activity Report for the month of January 2019.
Second.
Application received for bingo raffle licenses from the following organizations. St. Samuel's Roman Catholic Church to conduct an on-premise 50/50 on June 19th, 20, 21, 22, and off-premise 50/50 on June 22nd, 2019. That's in parentheses RA 2263 and 2264. Item number C, tax appeals from the following. Approve that.
As listed.
As listed? Okay. One,
You're denied.
Dave, you said.
No, I mean, just say as listed.
As listed, 1 through 7.
1 to 7.
Bravo.
Thank you, sir. G, notice received from PSE&G for customers with petition filed to modify the manufactured gas plant remediation component for Dimmick Electrical, Lotto benefits discharge, and its gas society benefits discharge. Leave notice on bulletin board to be filed.
Second.
Anything else, Councilman?
Planning and zoning. Oh, sorry. I'm done.
All right.
I mean, you could read it for me if you want.
Well done, Councilman. Planning and zoning, Councilman Delina.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following via, I'm sorry, let me start with A. Minutes and departmental reports to numbers 1 through 4, receive and file.
Second.
B, notice of adjacent municipal properties, number 1, receive and file.
Second.
C, receive the following planning board resolutions, number 1 and 2, for them to be memorialized on March 13th.
Second.
Receive and file. D, application for temporary license, trailer license received from the Whiting Turner Contracting Company to be placed at 1 construction office trailer on Block 257, Lot 3.04, 1000 Chevalier Avenue, Sayreville, New Jersey. Approve or deny.
Any objections? Anything else, Councilman?
Progress, Mayor.
Incredibly impressive, Councilman. Public Works, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, Mayor, I receive and file a monthly minutes as under A, 1, 2, and 3.
Anything else, Councilwoman?
Progress, Mayor.
Oh, very impressive. Recreation, Councilman Enriquez.
Tough act to follow. All right, minutes and departmental reports. Move the following minutes, reports to be received and filed. Recreation Director's Report for the month of February 2019, and Recreation Advisory Board minutes of March 7, 2019.
Next item.
All right, item B, application for a special event received from the following, carried over from February 25th, 2019 and March 11, 2019 meeting. The Darul Arqam School to conduct a prayer service on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019 from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Kennedy Park, and requesting that the $10,000 bond be waived. Sergeant Braille's recommendation attached, and the chief feels it is sufficient.
Any objection? Next item.
The bond too? Why would we get rid of the bond?
Because bond is mainly like for a carnival and heavy equipment and apparatus being placed on the lawns and,
These are blow-ups?
yes.
Yes, these are just blow-ups.
Yeah. Rec Division and DPW didn't feel like there would be any harm done to the grassy knolls.
Anything else, Councilman?
Yes, I do. I have a report from The rec director, just want to make a couple of reminders for registration for the Spring Mommy and Me at the rec center and Little Kids Playtime at Kennedy Park is ongoing. Please register at sayville.com. King's Bingo at the rec center, April 3rd, 6:30, ages 6 to 12. Sayville residents only. Please register online at sayvilleRec.com. The Easter egg hunt will be Saturday, April 13th at 10 a.m. sharp at the Borough Hall football field. The free event is open to all Sayville residents between the ages of 1 and 10.
Anything else, Councilman?
Actually, yes. We have some bus trips to Yankee Stadium on sale March 13th at Sayville Rec. It's 3 separate games. You can find it on the website. All the trips are Friday nights with the bus leaving the rec center at 4 p.m. Bus ticket prices are $10 each. Tickets sold first come, first serve. What is it? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Zero, $100 each. Also have a second bus trip to Broadway to see Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations on Saturday, September 28th, 2 p.m. matinee. Tickets are $150 each. Front side mezzanine seating. Bus leaves the Mickey Sedlak Rec Building at 12 noon and leaves New York City returning 8 p.m. Tickets can be purchased on SayvilleRec.com.
Anything else, Councilman?
That's it. Progress.
Thank you. Councilman McGill, Water, Sewer, and Environmental.
Thank you, Mayor. Minutes and departmental reports on water and sewer director's report for the month of February 2019. Receiving file, nothing more on that.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, could I make a statement? The chief left, but the chief was on, he was on Google this week, and he was doing a symposium on one of those elephants in the room, and that's the legalization of marijuana. And whether you're for or against it, I would advise or ask people if they get a chance to watch him on Google. He answers a lot of questions about things we didn't know coming down the pipe, financially for towns. And it is very enlightening, and it's very grown up. He answers questions in a simple way. He tells you about what is coming and what isn't coming. It's not a case of, I'll just leave it at that because this is something that we all have to make a decision on, but it's a very, very interesting piece on Google. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Safety, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes and reports be received and filed. The Court Administrator's report for the month of February 2019.
Second.
The Board of Health and Registrar's report for the month of February 2019. The Police Chief's report for the month of January and February 2019, and the Board of Health minutes of February 7th, 2019.
Second.
Thank you. Letter B, the Sayreville Emergency Squad requesting to do their annual door-to-door fund drive. I'd like to have that approved. And coin toss, as long as every 1, 2, and 3, as long as all 3 of them are in compliance, I'd like to have those as well approved.
Any objection? Anything else, Council President?
Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Business Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Appointing Rebecca Garbowski to the title of Personnel Director in Administration of Finance effective February 25th, 2019. Authorization to purchase 1 2019 Chevy Tahoe from Mall Chevrolet for the Cranford Police Department Cooperative Purchasing Program 47 CP CPS contract and an amount not to exceed $36,900.
Next item.
Authorization to purchase bulletproof vests from Samsies Uniform through NJ State Contract T0106881348, an amount not to exceed $77,679.60.
Next item.
Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to Whitmer Public Safety Group to purchase the firearms in an amount not to exceed $33,216.
Next item.
Authorization to purchase firearm holsters and related accessories from Atlantic Tactical through New Jersey State Contract T0106882102 in an amount not to exceed $39,189.56.
Next item.
Mayor, I just had one question. The Tahoe, is the insurance going to reimburse us for that?
As a yes, but not the total $36,900.
Okay.
It's a use of the Tahoe and what it would be worth.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Okay, authorization to purchase a passkey security entry system for Sayreville Engine Company Number 1 at a price not to exceed $4,500.
Excuse me, before we go any further with that one, can we look at that for our borough-wide buildings as well? I know I brought this up in the past about passkey, the swipe keys in our buildings. If we could look at that for our buildings as well.
You want all of our buildings to have swipe keys, or just just 167 Main, or?
That's the way everyone is going and should be going. I mean, it's a lot more secure. It registers who's coming in, who's going out.
So I think we could do that. I think for the budget purposes, for one company right now, engine company, do it. No, what I'm saying is is there something else you want to do for this budget year that I could take a look at least for an example?
We'd have to, I mean, it's a lot of undertaking. I'm sure we have to look at all the buildings and get estimates.
Okay.
Probably for the next budget.
Okay. So do you want every building quoted, Dan?
Yes.
Okay. Report received from Sergeant Braille, Police Traffic Bureau on the North Ernst Road, as we discussed, Sarabrook Plaza, ShopRite Crosswalk. Authorization to auction a 1989 Freightliner tandem dump truck. Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to Pioneer Pole Buildings for the provision of 124 by 32 foot pole barn at Fort Grumpy in an amount not to exceed $29,025. Request from St. Stan's Church to provide trash removal services during their carnival from June 19th through June 22nd, and that the borough be reimbursed for their services for a total cost of $300. I need approval on that.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to execute certification to comply with requirements in NJAC 7:26A-11 for 2018 and 2019 recycling rules, standard for municipalities.
Next item.
Appointing Fallon Jasowski to the position of Clerk 1 in the Water and Sewer Department effective April 15th, 2019.
Next item.
Authorization to reject all bids received for the critically silenced bypass pump and re-advertise with revised specifications.
Next item.
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. CFO's report? Nothing, Mayor, thank you. Borough Engineers report? Borough Attorney's report?
No report, Mayor.
Anything for executive?
No, sir.
I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on any issues. Are there any questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Will the public portion be closed?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Take a motion for
Motion to
adjournment.
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Good night. You don't want to sign these? Transfer
She said
There's transfer, and then the other ones I read is called the budget and allowing it to be read by title.
I said,
You still want to review it?
Yeah, what room or whatever. But thanks again.
Hey.
Next time. Thank God for mom. Until next time. Later, brother.
Here's this young man's information. I don't know if he left it.
Vicky is what now? Vicky is water. Mr. McGill.
And you would want to go and put a public bid out? How can you put a public bid out for something that you don't know what's going on? I know, that's why we'll make first bid. And then when I was opinion, we should go out and make business. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make government, I think it's press, we should go in on pressure. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to the press, I'm gonna tell them what the sheriff made me out in council meeting. He told me that the agreement in the company, and I have to write the public speak. And we'll be in the big newspaper, I'm guaranteeing. I don't care about public.
I'm sorry, Don. I'm sorry that you were embarrassed like that.